channel, or welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole Gilstrap, and first video in a very long time. This has been a long time coming. I have been putting it off, but God has been putting on my heart to start making videos, just making almost similar to commentary type style videos, where I'm just commentating on certain things going around in our culture and politics in our country and just around the world in general, and specific from a lens and a view of the Bible. So just biblically based commentary on all things political, social, just current events and everything like that. So this will be the first video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about kings, politics, and presidents, specifically for those of us that live in the U.S. So let's just get into this. So I am based out of Ezekiel chapter 34, and in this chapter, God is talking about how he will be Israel's shepherd, and he's basically prophesying against, or calling Ezekiel to prophesy against the kings of Israel and just their lack of responsibility for their flock, just them being bad shepherds, basically. And I'll insert a picture right here of what I'm reading, but specifically where it says, "To you, shepherds of Israel, who only take care of yourselves, should not shepherds take care of the flock? You eat the curds, clothe yourselves with the wool, and slaughter the choice animals, but you do not take care of the flock. You have not strengthened the weak, or healed the sick, or bound up the injured. You have not brought back the strays, or searched for the lost. You have ruled them harshly and brutally, so they were scattered because there was no shepherd, and when they were scattered, they became food for all the wild animals. My sheep wandered." With that specifically, God is saying the kings have been selfish and irresponsible, and he also goes on to say, basically, he won't just punish the shepherds, he's going to rescue the sheep. This is what we see in this chapter. God's not just going to punish the shepherds, he's going to rescue his sheep. And so God goes on to say, "Because my flock lacks a shepherd," and then continues, "I am against the shepherds and will hold them accountable for my flock. I will remove them from tending the flock so that the shepherds can no longer feed themselves. I will rescue my flock from their mouths, and it will no longer be food for them." And then he also says in verse 11, "I myself will search for my sheep and look after them. As a shepherd looks after his scattered flock when he is with them, so will I look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered on a day of clouds and darkness. I will bring them out from the nations and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them into their own land." Then on verse 14, "I will tend them in a good pasture." And then verse 15, "I myself will tend my sheep and have them lie down. I will search for the lost and bring back the strays. I will bind up the injured and strengthen the weak, but the sleek and strong I will destroy. I will shepherd the flock with justice." And then in verse 17, it also says that he's going to judge between the flock, or the sheep. And then something God showed me through this, which I wrote down, was kings will always fail us, but God has given us a good shepherd, which is Jesus. Like, kings will always fail us, but he will be there to shepherd us, to take care of us when our politicians do not, when those in power over us do not, and authority over us do not. God will. And so we see this starting in verse 22. It says, "I will save my flock, and they will no longer be plundered. I will judge between one sheep and another. I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them." And then also in 25, "I will make a covenant of peace with them," which it continues on saying for safety for them. He will give them safety. He will give them a hill of blessing. He will send down showers of blessing, and he will give them a security, a safety, blessings, and they will know that he is the Lord, and he will break the bars of their yoke. Basically, he will rescue them. And when God showed me this, kings will always fail us, but he has given us a good shepherd, which is Jesus. It was very eye-opening, because I know there's a lot of fear right now in our society and our country about those in charge in the government. I know I can get caught up in that. I can get caught up in the fear and the anxiety and maybe even anger and all these different things about our current administration. And there's this constant talk right now where it's like the left doesn't care about us and the right doesn't care about us. None of these politicians care about us. There's no one for us. There's no one for the people. But there is one, and his name is Jesus. God is for us. God is going to take care of us. And I actually made this post, and I'll insert it in just a second. But I saw this post on Instagram, and I shared it on my story. And basically, it's saying, no matter what's going on in our economy, and to me, no matter what's going on in our country and our government, God will provide. God will take care. He is our shepherd. No matter who the actual human being shepherd is over our government and our country, God is the ultimate shepherd. He is the one. That's what I love. I love that it says, I don't know where it is. I'll place over them one shepherd. And it says my servant David, and it's specifically talking about Jesus. He came from David's lineage. So anyways, I just feel like this is huge encouragement for those of us that get caught up in politics and get stressed out and worried about what's going on in the world and the government and the economy and, oh my gosh, they're ruining our planet, all these different things, right? We just get so caught up in this stuff, which is understandable, and we should care and we should be informed, but we also need to be careful of where we hold that in our lives and make sure that God is number one and we see the power of God over the power of man. So just huge encouragement that kings will fail us, but God will not, and he is here for you. All you have to do is ask and he will provide. I've continuously been seeing this with me and my husband. And our financial situation has been very rough, but God has showed up over and over and over again, providing in just the craziest ways. So just remember who your shepherd is and who your king is and who's in control of everything, and rest in that today. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that this was a blessing to you, and I pray that you subscribe and keep a lookout because I will be posting more videos like this to come, and would love to hear from you in the comment section. If you have any questions, thoughts, anything that you want me to talk about, just biblical perspective on, please comment your requests and your questions. I will read them and reply and try and make a video on whatever topic it is. Anyways, have a blessed week. Also, I wanted to add something else when I was reading about how in the first few verses of the chapter, it's saying how the shepherd only takes care of himself and not the flock. Just so worried about themselves and not others around them, those that they're supposed to be shepherding. And when I was reading this, it specifically hit me so hard because I know I've been getting so frustrated of like our government does not care about us at all. All they care about is themselves. All they care about is getting more rich, more powerful. That's all our people in charge care about in the U.S. It seems like there's no one that actually genuinely cares about the people, and just all about themselves, making themselves wealthier and more power, and just not caring about the actual people that they're supposed to be shepherding. And that's what got me so fired up in the first place. So if you're feeling angry over this and just frustrated, know you are not alone in that. And that's why I made this video in the first place, because I just wanted to encourage God has got us, and we don't need to get so caught up in that and get so angry and frustrated and worked up, because the Lord, He got us. That's our shepherd. That's who we need to be looking to. That's where our focus needs to be. Our focus does not need to be on government. Like I said, I don't mean you need to be ignorant and not know what's going on. I just mean our hearts need to be focused on the Lord. Who are we focused on? Who are we relying on? That's a huge part of it. It's who we are relying on. I'm not relying on the government to take care of me. I'm just not. They're human beings who are selfish and sinful. All of us are sinful. And especially those that are not following Jesus. I'm not going to rely on them. I'm going to rely on Jesus himself, God himself, the creator of everything. So just switch your focus, if that makes any sense. I feel like this is a huge encouragement and reminder for us to pay attention to where our focus is and where, our hearts are, what we're relying on. But anyways, I needed to add that real quick.